Right, our next guest is a Melbourne-based career transition coach for educators. Elizabeth Dacos loves working with creative types in particular who have plenty more to offer. Elizabeth, great to have you on Ticker. How are you today?
Hi, Adrian. Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. You're based in Melbourne. Whereabouts in Melbourne?
That's right. Lockdown city, just in the northern suburbs. So just enjoying being able to walk in my 5-kilometre radius.
Yeah, me too. We're in Richmond, so I reckon I've gone just outside the 5Ks, just quietly, but don't tell anyone. 5.5Ks.
No.
Nothing outside of that, don't worry. Hey, firstly, tell us about your background.
So I worked in education probably 10 plus years, and over that time I worked with students from all the way from prep right the way through to adults who were learning how to be teachers, and so I've sort of done the full gamut, and I've worked with a few not-for-profits in the education sector as well. But as I was trying to leave like traditional classroom education, I just found that I had trouble working out how to get out, where to go next, and finding someone who could help me and finding someone who actually understood what I brought to the table as a teacher, the skill set that I had, and the passion that I'd been an educator with all that time. When it suddenly wasn't firing me up anymore, no one really understood the grief that I felt around that. And so I just thought, maybe this is a space where I can help others make that journey a little bit more of an easier transition for them.
No, absolutely. So is that something you don't think that we do well enough? We don't, keep in contact with teachers, guide them, talk to them about what they can do afterwards. Are we missing that? Obviously you're doing it, but no one else really?
There are a few other people working in this space now that have kind of emerged in the last year internationally. So there aren't too many others here in Australia that I'm aware of. I think the education department isn't interested in transitioning people. They want them to go, but they don't have a plan in place to help them work out a good way out of their career and help them to find something. I talk to a lot of teachers who are in their maybe late career teachers who are in their mid-50s to 60s, but they've still potentially got another 10 or 15 years of good working life left, and they want to contribute and they just don't know what to do next. And so that's where I step in, and we try and work on a plan and help them really create a whole life that they love.
Yeah, so let's dig a little bit deeper into that, into the plan that you sort of focus on. How do you look to help these people in particular?
So first of all, it's really often quite difficult, especially like, for instance, I had a client I've just finished working with who had been an educator for 30 years. And so he was just really couldn't even imagine any other possibilities outside of education. And so part of what we do is say, well, okay, what kind of a life do you want to live? Is it an indoor life? Is it an outdoor life? Like, are you wearing, are you wearing high heels, or are you wearing, thongs and stubbies? So what are you actually wearing? Where are you? What are the kind of characteristics of a great workplace for you? Maybe you want to be, working in a team. Maybe you'd prefer to work by yourself. Maybe you want to be on the front desk, or maybe you're in the back end, doing the keyboard behind the scenes kind of work. So everyone's different. And so I don't know, when I begin working with a client, I don't even know where we're going to go with this journey. And so there is a risk there for them too, that I don't have the answer to begin with. We work on that together. So it's a very creative process. I really love it. So I was an art teacher. And so I get to now be that creative force in people's lives and help them in a different way to create something new.
No,
so instead of sculpting, so instead of clay, now I sculpt lives. It's awesome. I love it.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. What would you like your legacy to be in terms of what you're doing here work-wise? When these people move on, what mark would you like to leave?
Yeah, I think for me, it's really important that people have the opportunity to lead their best life. And I feel like we owe that to the generations who've gone before us, who, got us to where we are here now. And it's our turn to sort of take that torch and keep moving forward. And so I want to help people be able to have fulfilling lives and be able to be their best self and show up every day authentic. And I think often teachers have to put on this mask or persona. Mask's a bit of a scary word right now, right? But, they create a persona for themselves around being a teacher, which is really appropriate in the classroom to have, that sort of demeanor. but then it's really hard to see other possibilities outside of that. So what I do, what I would like to continue to do is to help them see those possibilities. And so that will be my legacy, I hope.
No, I love it. Really important messages. Really enjoyed the chat. Where can we jump online? So Larksong Enterprises is the company or the brand. Where can we find out more?
So it's larksong.com.au, and on there you'll find some information about if you want to book a triage call with me, a 10-minute free call. There's also links to the podcast, the Get Out of Teaching podcast, and I've got a ever-growing Facebook group called Get Out of Teaching that you're also welcome to join. And if you're interested in having a chat, you can find me on Facebook or just about everywhere. So, yeah, I'd love to have a chat if you're interested in even just exploring the possibilities of getting out of teaching and into a life you love.
Great stuff. Elizabeth, really enjoyed the chat. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Adrian.
Elizabeth Dacos there, Larksong Enterprises, doing some great work.